What up, YouTube? So today I want to talk about gloves and barbers. So, um, see here, I'm a type that actually uses gloves. Um, so gloves. Should you use them? Should you use them? Listen, I don't hate on nobody that uses gloves. Me personally, I use gloves. Why? Why do I use gloves? Okay, I'm gonna tell you how it started. When I was in barber school, there's a section about sanitary and sanitation and stuff that you're supposed to do and not do. Okay, so as a barber, you are obligated to be clean, right? After every cut, you're supposed to wash your hands, no matter what. Number one, you put your hands on somebody's head, you know what I mean? And you're not gonna sit there, not wash your hands, have hair in your nails, hair on your fingertips, touch somebody else. That's like cutting somebody's hair that has black hair, and then when the next person you cut, he's a ginger, so now you see black hair in the red hair. You feel what I'm saying? That's disgusting because at the end of the day, if somehow that shit gets left there, they're gonna know, yo, this shit ain't my fucking hair, right? So you're supposed to wash your hands after every cut. How many people wash their hands that don't use gloves after every cut? How many of y'all have hand sanitizer dispensers? I have 3 of them in my shop. 1 in the bathroom, 2 on the floor. Like, I don't mess around with sanitation, especially like in the wintertime. Like, it shouldn't be no reason for anyone to pass any kind of communicable disease or germ or virus in my shop. Okay? So, me personally, I use gloves, right? So it was in school, and the sanitation part of it, we were discussing stuff, and the teacher was like, give us an example of something that you find disgusting. Someone in class said one of the most disgusting things is when a barber smokes cigarettes or anything for that matter. Right? I see a lot of barbers go on break, smoke a cigarette, come back in. They don't wash their hands, right? And 2, they go to straight cut hair without washing their hands, and then they still have the scent of cigarettes on their hands, right? And then they have the nerve to shape somebody up or lift their nose up or stretch their skin with the cigarette smell on their fingertips. Now, I used to smoke cigarettes, right? Used to. At this point, I stopped because I didn't want to be that guy. I literally stopped cold turkey after that day because, I didn't want that to be me. So I stopped cold turkey and then decided I'm going to wear gloves. Because I didn't want to be that guy people talk about with smelly fingers, cigarette smell fingers, or, you know what I mean? Period. The cigarette smell, period. I mean, you can smoke cigarettes. You got to mask that shit because you're dealing with the public. You're dealing with people that don't want to deal with that shit, right? Don't want to deal with that smell. They just want to get their fucking haircut. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, I stopped smoking cigarettes and I started using gloves because of that. Now, the reason why I use gloves is because I do a lot with my fingers. I eat chicken with my fingers, right? So the last thing I want is to go home. You go wash your hands 1,000 times. Are you still going to have hair underneath your nails? Probably, yeah. So you're going to go home. You're going to eat some chicken with your hands. And you're going to take a bite of that chicken and possibly swallow some hair that you cut earlier that day. It's disgusting, right? When you start thinking about this shit. But this is how I think. One more reason why you should wear gloves. Who the fuck likes hair splinters? Them shits fucking hurt. I mean, I get them in my fucking feet. Ain't nothing you can do about that. Like, I don't know how the fuck that happens. Get in my feet, my ankle, my arms, my hands. But to avoid, at least with your hands, wear gloves. So those are all the pros to wearing gloves. You avoid hair splinters. You avoid having hair and dirt on your hands. Having to avoid washing your hands after every cut. All you do is just change your gloves every cut. You know what I'm saying? And two, people say, oh, it's a fad. Black gloves. Who gives a shit what color they are? I cut with gray gloves, white gloves, black gloves. As you can see, I'm fully stocked with gloves, man. Like, I don't mess around when it comes to the gloves. I fucks with gloves. And all my clients know. I have clients that bring me gloves. Because they appreciate that. The only con, there's a couple cons to wearing gloves. One, you have to get used to it. It's a little weird at first when you're wearing gloves and you're cutting hair and you're shaping people up with the razor and you're stretching the skin. It's not a normal feeling until you get used to it. So that, yes, you got to get used to it. Two, it's a little pricey. You know what I'm saying? You're talking anywhere between $10 a box. You know what I'm saying? $10 to $15 a box, depending on where you're getting them. Depending if you're getting them at a hardware store or your supply guy. You know what I mean? So, gloves. You know what I mean? That's the only two cons. Yeah, it's another cost. But is there any cost for customer service at the highest level? Like, what kind of barber are you? Like, you don't want customer service at its highest level. Now again, I don't have anything against people that cut hair without. This is for the people that are trying to figure out if they want to cut hair with gloves on or not. Me personally, I do. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I do. And I've been cutting hair like that since I started. So for me, it's nothing. I feel weird when I cut hair without gloves. Right? So, so that's my thoughts, my pros and cons on wearing gloves. You know what I'm saying? I got a question. How many people use a razor blade, right, and flick it off with their fingers? Flick like the ash. Like you razor somebody up and then you flick the razor with your finger. How many people do that? Right? How many people do that with gloves? How many people don't do it without gloves? The only time I will not cut with gloves on is if I'm cutting the top with shears. One, every time I do that with gloves, I end up cutting the glove because the gloves are a little loose, right? So I'll cut with one glove on and one glove off. And trust me, as soon as I get done, I sanitize my hand, I wipe it off, wipe it down, and then I put gloves on. So that's the only time you'll ever see me cut anything without gloves, and that's only the top. So yeah, that's my thoughts for today. You know what I mean? Gloves. I was sitting around. I had a client of mine bring me some gloves. I'm like, yo, this is awesome. This is so wonderful. Like, the stuff your clients notice. You got to understand, your clients see everything. Whether they're sitting over here and they're watching you cut, or they're sitting in your chair and they're watching you cut. They're watching. So it's funny. I don't ask my clients for nothing. I prefer, you know, it's a service industry, so it's my job to service you. You're paying me to service you. You're not paying me for you to bring me shit. You feel me? But they still bring me stuff, right? It's good clients. But it's funny how they notice, and they notice I cut with gloves, but they bring me gloves. This is awesome. So anyway, I'm gonna even show you that picture right here. You see that picture? I got gray gloves on. It won't focus. There you go. Gloves. And that picture is probably like 2 years old. Gray gloves. I've cut with pink gloves, black gloves, white gloves, gray gloves. I mean, I believe what is that? Elegance. They have a numerous number of different colored gloves. And honestly, you're paying 10, 12 bucks for fucking colored gloves. Like, to me, it's not that serious. At the end of the day, you're paying for gloves. All right? You're gonna fucking use them one time and chuck them. You don't have to pay more for a fucking color. Unless you just like to look good, or this is your favorite color, or you're trying to support cancer awareness month or whatever. But honestly, black gloves do the job. Gray gloves, white gloves, I don't give a fuck. Just give me some fucking gloves and I'm gonna get it done. All right. So anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, but comment, subscribe, like, share. You know what to do. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if it was informational at all. Let me know if, if you use gloves and why do you use gloves? Like, is it something I said? Is it something I didn't say? Is it, if you don't use gloves, tell me, comment, it's not a big deal. Just wash your hands. Hey, that's cool. Me personally, I just, the whole point of not. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Sometimes you have clients with psoriasis. Sometimes you have clients with dandruff. Sometimes you have clients with dry scalp. Okay, if you do not cut with gloves on and you're putting your hands on this person's head that has any kind of situation going on with the head, don't even act like there's not a time where I've seen a case where somebody walks in with fucking with lice. Okay? Now, technically, you're supposed to, as you're doing your client consultation, you're supposed to run that comb through that scalp, and as you're moving it with your hand is touching that motherfucking lice. And you mean to tell me that you prefer to not touch clients with the gloves? Hey, that's on you. But me personally, I've seen these situations. I was told about these situations in school, so therefore I was already preventing anything like that. So you got all these scalp situations. Yes, you go wash your hands. Yes, but you know how disgusting that still is on your hands? Okay, one more thing, and I promise you I'm going. Let's say you do see something in somebody's head, right? You do. Halfway through the cut, you see this dryness, right? You start saying, man, I should put gloves on. Halfway through the cut, you gonna put gloves on? Really? You know how that's gonna make that client feel? I mean, this is customer service. Get it? I get it. It's customer service. This is what you do. You're servicing your client. Halfway through, you put gloves on. What is that? What are you telling your client? Yeah, he's a nasty motherfucker. But at the end of the day, this is customer service, man. It's supposed to be highest customer service, right? You can't, I don't know. I'd feel weird about trying to put it on at the end of the day. So what you gonna do? You gonna put it on at the end of the day, halfway through, or you just gonna suck it up and be like, damn, yo, from now on I'm putting gloves on. All my clients know I put gloves on from the gate, so I don't give a fuck if you got nothing going on with your hair. I'll wash your hair and I'll still wear gloves. I wash your hair during with gloves on. That's just me personally, man. This is my MV Cuts, man. I'm out. Holla at me. Please comment below. They always say, oh, subscribe button up here. I don't even know how to fucking do that shit. But I don't know. Let me know what you think, all right? Holla at you.